of Health meeting in April 14th. And before we start anything, I just want you to know that this is a regularly scheduled Board of Health meeting for hearings due to septic systems. We will not be discussing any COVID-19 issues. So if that's what you want to talk about, we will not be discussing it tonight. We have a meeting scheduled tomorrow at 2 o'clock, a Zoom meeting at 2 o'clock tomorrow, every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So if you would like to tune in then, there's plenty of COVID talk then. And now I would just like to read a little blurb to start off our meeting. The town of Littleton began conducting remote participation / Zoom meetings pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law on March 19th, 2020. Since that time, unanticipated legal concerns relating to the open meeting law have been brought to our attention by the town clerk. Those concerns were supported by the Attorney General's office and confirmed by town council. One concern is that the chat function allows a parallel text conversation to a board's public meeting. Chat is essentially running commentary that is occurring, but is not moderated or followed by the chair. All participants and listeners may not be aware of comments being made because some meeting participants join by phone and do not see these conversations. Another concern is conversations between residents within the chat room, which are not incorporated into the public record. In response to these concerns, the town will implement the following changes, which in no way prohibit any member of the public from participating in discussion and sharing information during a public meeting, and will ensure that all listeners and participants have equal access to this meeting. If you wish to participate in the meeting, please use the raise your hand function available on Zoom, or if you called in by phone, dial *9, which will activate the raise your hand function. If you are dialed in by a cell phone, use *6 to mute and unmute your phone. The meeting host will notify the chairperson of raised hands, and the chairperson will determine whether and when to allow public comment. When called upon, participants should state their name and address. Disruptive gestures from the audience will not be tolerated, and the offender will be immediately removed from the meeting. Thank you. Okay, so we'll officially start. I think Kevin will be here. Kevin Baker will be here shortly, and I'm not sure about Gino. So
Kevin just joined, ma'am.
okay. Oh, hi, Kevin. Okay, so we've got everybody but Gino. So the first thing for administrative matters is the minutes, and they were from 3/26. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes? I can't hear anyone.
They all have to unmute themselves.
Oh,
It's okay.
okay.
I think we looked at them already, didn't we? Did I send an email to you, Janet?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So
I heard from everybody, but Gino and Kevin, I think.
Everything looked good to me.
Okay.
does someone want to make a motion?
I move that the minutes be accepted as written with the any corrections made.
I'll second.
Which date are you talking about? 3:20. We've got several meetings that are 3/26, right?
3/26, yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Kevin, okay, so we're going to do a roll call. So when you say your name and then how you vote, yes or no. Don't say yay or nay, please. So I'll just say your name, but repeat your name when I call you, just so it's a verbal vote. Mike?
Michael Zeldin, aye.
Lisa?
Lisa, aye. Aye. Yes.
Kevin?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Kevin Baker, yes.
And Louise Nichols, yes. Okay, and then signing of permits should be happening by Jim Gareffi?
Correct. That's
So we're all
correct.
set on that. And now there any member comments from since the last time we meet that do not have anything to do with COVID-19?
It's been so long.
It has been a long time. I feel like we can have a little levity during this meeting. It's very intense in our COVID-19 meetings. Okay, anyway, is it 7:15?
Not yet.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we have 10 minutes to wait.
Or for
Well,
levity.
We could give, let's see, 82 Etzel Drive is the first.
Janet's breaking up very badly for me. I
yeah,
can't
public
barely hear
hearing.
her.
Text. Etzel
The first property up is 82 Edsel Drive. Is it okay that we're going in earlier than what's on the agenda? We have to wait. So,
May I ask a technical question while we're waiting, if we have the chance, Mr. Chairman?
sure.
Okay. On the very rare occasion where, for example, another board with jurisdiction over how land is used, such as the Conservation Commission or the board, makes a ruling, a negative one, do we pay absolutely no attention to it and just basically just adhere to what within the realm of the Board of Health, or do we take into consideration the position of the Conservation Commission? It's a two-board. It's a question about how, with what courtesy and deference, and how do we work with another board in regarding to any topic. It's a general question.
I'm not sure because we've never worked with another board except recently with the Board of Selectmen for the whole COVID-19. So,
No, what I'm talking about is not working with. What I'm talking about is when a committee, such as the Conservation Committee, looks at how a property is going to be used and its position, and they say, no, you can't do that, whatever it is being proposed by the applicant to them, then the applicant has to come to us because of septic or a well, or we don't know what, it doesn't make any difference. Do we restrict our purview and ignore, for purposes of our deliberation, any of the decisions made by Conservation Committee or Commission?
Do you mean who do we defer to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get an idea of so we don't waste time when we have to actually, if the situation ever arises.
Well, if I
You
can
mean
speak,
like
Mr. Chairman.
Ted?
Hi, Ted.
Yeah, hi. How's everyone doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. The board's a duly elected board, and you only have a certain purview that you can react on. You know, if the Conservation Commission tells the board one thing, they can't tell you what to do.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, Ted Doucette. I'm a Littleton resident. I was on the board for a few years, and I just thought I'd add my opinion. I mean, you're a duly elected board. You can do what you want, and you're not subject.
Excuse me,
to the Conservation Commission.
Jim Gariffi. Do you have any official notices or knowledge about this that's contemporaneous?
So you have sets of regulations that you enforce, and that's your purview. Now, certainly you would want to understand why a commission is doing something or other, but you still have your set of regulations that you go by. So I don't think you subjugate your enforcement of those regulations because of what another board does, but certainly you want to cooperate because obviously you have a goal, a common goal to, whether it's to help somebody get a project approved or help get, so there's a cooperative sense, but it doesn't mean that you set your regulations aside.
Agreed. Understood. Thank you very much, Jim.
Yep.
So for 82 Edsel Drive is the Civil Solutions. Kirk, do you want to get ready for your presentation? I don't know if you have another screen that you want to put your drawings on, or?
No, I do not. I thought you folks had a PDF of the plan.
Yeah, this is.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to, so this required a butter notification for fill within 10 feet of the lot line. So I don't know if we can discuss it before 7:15.
No, you really should wait until that time frame to do it.
Yeah. Can you screen share your screen, put your drawings up on your screen and screen share with, I don't know how to do that, but
I don't know how to do that either, to be honest with you.
Kirby or Judy?
Yeah, at the bottom of your screen, you'll want to look at the green arrow that says share screen.
Okay, yep.
But you need to, before you do that, Kirk, you need to have it already launched in another window, because when you say share screen, it will give you an option to select a group of different screens that you already have open.
Okay.
So you can go to another window other than the one you're on now and open up your PDF. That will allow you to trial run it before you're allowed to start in 3 minutes.
Okay, let me give it a shot.
Yeah, great learning experience.
Yes.
If everyone else can be prepared, be also prepared doing the same thing as Kurt's learning right now, that would be great.
Baker.
Perfect.
Okay, so you may want to take that down until the start of the hearing then. Thank you. See, easy, Kirk.
I'm looking.
I took it down for you. When you share your screen, it's the green arrow at the center bottom. When you stop sharing, it's at the top and it's red.
Okay, I didn't put that up. That's not mine.
Well, then someone else is sharing.
Somebody else is sharing theirs.
Yes.
Ian is doing his right now. Thanks, Ian. But we'll pull it down for you for right now.
Oops. I'm trying to find mine. Mine's not on this machine, so I got to grab it out of an email.
Sure. You've got a minute and a half.
The pressure's
Plenty of
on.
time. Kirk, don't worry, plenty of time.
Another guy.
Ian, stop sharing, please.
Almost there, I think.
Okay, I have 7:15.
Oops.
We can open the hearing for 82 Edsel Drive.
I'm Kirk Fitzpatrick with Civil Solutions. And I've lost my.
Go ahead, Kirk.
I'm trying to get it to open back up again.
Go ahead with your introduction. That'll give you some time.
So I'm Kirk Fitzpatrick with Civil Solutions, here on behalf of Stan Parks for 82 Edsel Road. Basically, before you is proposed upgrade for the existing 3-bedroom house. The existing system failed a Title V inspection. So we've designed a replacement system to accommodate the existing 3-bedroom. I don't know why I lost my, can't get it to come back up as a full screen.
So are you trying to open up your PDF file again, or is it already open in another window?
I got that open in another window and now I can't
So you
get
need to get out to your bottom of your screen where it says share screen.
I lost the Zoom window.
So hit the, if you're on a Windows machine, please hit the
Yep.
Alt key.
Okay.
That'll bring up your toolbar.
Yep.
And there you should see the share screen.
I don't have my Zoom window open anymore.
So if you're on a Windows machine, this is
Yep.
Judy.
Yep.
Alt tab.
Alt tab.
If you hold down Alt and then you press Tab, it should bring up all the windows that you have open on your machine, and you
Okay.
can scroll through them till you find the Zoom one again.
It's asked me to join a meeting again.
No, that's a different Zoom window.
I close that?
I would leave that open.
Okay.
But this one, if you Alt Tab, you'll have 2 different Zoom icons available to you.
I have it. It's a tiny little window off to the side, though.
Okay, so then there's a
Oh,
arrow
I got-
to the corner.
I got it, actually.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to try and share it here.
Go.
That works. Does that help? You see it?
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Sure. All right. There's
Who did you say?
Go ahead.
Who did you say your client was? Was it Sam Parks from The Point?
So we're doing it for Stan Parks. This was his father's home, and he recently passed away.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So basically, the existing system is composed of a small round tank. Can you see where the cursor's hovering over? The hand?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the tank there, and then there's a leach field coming towards the front of the lot here. That's the road's out in the front, the driveway's down the right side. So we did 2 deep observation holes, test hole 1 and test hole 2. We had a water table at 48 inches in one and 42 inches in the other, with some fill on top, so we were not able to run a percolation test. So we took a soil sample that came back as a class 2 soil. So the system is designed based on a percolation rate of 30 minutes an inch. So what we're proposing to do is come out the back of the house where it comes out now. It's got some finished space in the basement, so the plumbing can't be moved over. So coming out at an angle to a clean out and a sweep into the end of a 1,500-gallon 2-compartment septic tank. And that's going to feed a 1,000-gallon pump chamber, and that's going to pump the liquid up to a leaching area composed of the Presby and Viro septic. Basically, takes advantage of the slope of the yard to keep the profile of the system as low as possible. So we're asking for approval for the use of the Presby with a reduction of the groundwater offset from 4 feet to 2 feet. The system is also proposed to be 15 feet off the full foundation instead of 20. And basically what it does is it keeps the fill away from the lot line down the left side and actually preserves this kind of a garden and a hedge along the side. So that nice natural barrier between this house and the neighboring property. We're asking for for 310 CMR 15405 1I to allow the use of a particle size analysis instead of the percolation rate, and a reduction in the offset from fill to a lot line less than 10 feet. Local Littleton Board Health Regulation 27. And you can see on the side here, the toe of this fill is about 5 feet off the lot line. think that's it.
So Kirk, under that 5-foot clearing, it says see note 7. What does note 7 say?
No, so note 7 is a construction note.
Okay.
Basically says when they go to construct the system, they dig out the area of the system 5 feet around it, down to a depth of naturally occurring material. So if you look at the test holes when they dig it out, in the area test hole 1, we had 48 inches of fill before we hit the parent material. In the second test hole, as you get towards the street, there was about 38 inches of fill, and then the old subsoil. So those 2 layers will be removed. But the whole excavation will be roughly 4 feet deep for the area of the system and 5 feet around it. That's what the reference to the 5-foot clearing is.
Okay. Jim Gareffi, does anybody on the board have any questions for Kirk?
I have a question.
Kevin?
Would it be possible to narrow the system and maybe put another leach line towards the rear of the property to try and kick it away from the full basement a little bit?
I think you can make it more narrow. You'll actually extend the system towards the rear, and then it won't meet breakout over in this corner. So you'll actually end up with more fill, directing more runoff into the neighbor's property on that side. It's a poured concrete foundation. It's not block. So typically with a 15-foot offset is not generally an issue.
All sealed?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? Jim Gareffi, do you have any comments?
This is one of those small lots in the neighborhood with a high water table and a sloping backyard, so it's challenging to try to get something that fits in the backyard there without, spilling fill onto the abutting sites. So I think, these are probably the sites that Presbyterian are made for, because you can actually slope the field, get it down enough and get the breakout to work. One of the things where the breakout, the offset to the foundation is a little tight. One of the things that can be done is you could throw a poly barrier along the edge of the 5-foot over dig that's on the fill on that side of the house, and that would give you an added layer of protection if you were concerned about it, particularly where there's living space in that part of the basement. So I think the design is about the best you can do for the site, and with the addition of that poly barrier, takes away some of the concern with that offset to the foundation.
Yeah, I like that poly barrier idea.
Is there a swale needed on that property line since it's so close to the property line?
Typically, if you go less than 5 feet, it triggers a swale, but the grading is actually higher on the adjacent lot in the front. As you can see, this 98 contour cuts towards the back. This is actually going to almost form a natural swale along the toe of the slope until you get back in this area here around 95, where it actually already naturally pitches in that direction.
That should kind of take care of itself there.
Correct.
Okay.
I guess we don't have any butters at the meeting. Anybody to talk? Anybody on the meeting?
Whoever was the phone number, I just unmuted you in case you needed to talk.
Thanks for all your help.
I think that might have been our client, Stan.
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, Stan.
Well, he was on video. We had one cell phone.
Sometimes you have to, if you're on video but you don't have a microphone appropriate, you can dial in.
Oh, okay.
And I believe that's what Janet just did as well. You'll see her name twice.
Louise?
Kevin?
May I make a motion?
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this plan as presented with the addition of a poly barrier on the house side of the system.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so now we will take a roll call vote. Mike? say your name and say your name and yes or no. We can't hear you, Mike. No. Okay, Kevin, we'll go back to Mike.
Kevin Baker, yes.
Lisa,
Lisa Flanagan, yes.
Mike, that's funny. He was working earlier.
Mike, did your really long cable come unplugged? We cannot hear anything and you are unmuted.
And down there?
Is your volume down, Mike? No.
Do you have a mute button on your cord on your headphones?
How's that? Is that better?
That's better. Thank you.
Yes. It was on another call. Sorry. Michael Zeldin, aye.
Louise Nichols, yes. Okay. Thanks very much, Kirk and
Yep, thank
Stanley.
you.
Thank you.
I guess I'm going to see you a little later in the evening for 179 Harvard Road.
Okay.
Attorney asked me to sit in on that, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is 82 Foster Street. Which is Ted Doucette. Which is...
Did I hear my name?
Ted, are you ready to present?
Yeah, did I hear my name?
Oh, I guess we gotta wait 3 minutes, though.
Yes, 3 minutes.
Well, first, if I can have the floor for another minute here, I just want to say thanks for putting the effort into the board and everybody to get this set up during this time. If we're seeing so many things shut down from boards and things that it's frustrating. So it's good to see you guys putting the effort out. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ted. Did you hear the instructions on how to share your plans?
Yeah, I think I figured it out. I tried to, although I may be, maybe not too smooth about it. I actually tried to have a cold run with Janet, and I couldn't even hook that up. So we'll see how it works tonight.
Yeah. Doing the best we can. So I have 2 more minutes.
Yeah, how's that? See that?
So you're using, what is this? This is a Windows machine?
Yes.
There we go.
I like the other view better.
Ted, that looks like a little bit like a copy of a TB12 logo. Very similar.
Where were you 2 years ago when I was reviewing that? It fits on a hat nicely, though.
Oh,
there you go. Okay, I have 1 more minute. I guess we're more efficient by video than in real life.
There may be other explanations for this.
That's true.
Maybe justification for doing it all the time.
My thought exactly.
At least having PDF documents that people can see in the viewing audience.
We could actually do it at a regular in-person meeting if we ever get to it. You know, if you have the right device sitting next to you, you could do it.
Yeah, I thought Janet was doing that. I know conservation does it. I thought you guys were doing that. Then I don't have to try and remember an easel and prop it up with tape and all this other kind of stuff.
I was just
You have
gonna
that
say,
capability.
we just bought a new easel.
Yeah, but I should say that I've never brought an easel, so.
So Ted, there is a connection in the room. So if you bring your laptop, it can be seen on the screen, and we can also record it into the recording.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
For about 3 years.
that's fine. That's fine. I thought, like I said, conservation throw them up there, but I don't know. It's funny because I like coming in and sitting around the table and putting the plan down, and I'll go to like Acton or something, and they're all spread out, and there's no chairs within a table for like 12 feet. You feel like you're on stage, and I never have an easel or anything, so I'm holding the plan up or something, and I like Littleton so much better.
Okay, we can start because 7:31.
All right, awesome. So my name is Ted Doucette. I'm representing the owner of the property, who is Ron Goddard, and I work through this with Tim Goddard. He's he's a client who I'm acting with, so it's it's their project. They're the client. The property is at 82 Foster Street, and if you can see it, so Foster Street's right in here and right here, and right across is Mill Road. So it's right across from that intersection there. And it's a difficult design. It's literally between a rock and a wet place. So you can see we have wetlands down in this area here, existing 5-bedroom here. And then we tested up in this area out here, and it was ledge. And I'm assuming anything over here is ledge. Plus this is treed. So we'd have to take down more trees in order to do it over there. And you're pumping further there. And obviously they have a serviceable gravel driveway. So I think there was some outcrops in this area, so we really didn't want to go there. We really wanted to stay kind of in the yard. So as you can see, this is the location that I felt was the best. Well, no, this is not what I felt. I felt down here was the best, where we could have eliminated a pump chamber. But if you can see, here is the conservation 50-foot, no disturb, no touch zone. And my first proposal was to come down into here and run by gravity into the distribution box and put some clean fill over beyond this 50-foot. And they felt that the clean fill on top of the clean grass was going to contaminate the wetlands. So we moved it back, installed the pump chamber. Jim has done one review of this, and that required, not because of him, it's because the regulations changed and Presby didn't send it out to anybody. So part of his review was to meet the current requirements, which required adding in 2 more Presby lines here and increasing the size of the leach field. As I said, there's a lot of ledge out here. We did find in these holes here that there are areas that may have less than 4 feet of naturally occurring pervious material. So that's one of the variances that we're asking for, is to reduce the required 4 feet offset of naturally occurring materials, not to not less than 2. And then we're using a Presby because, like as Jim said, there's a certain tool for a certain job, and this is a good one because the Presby does work really well on a slope. There's no other system that would really work this well on a slope, so that's why we're using that. And it also does allow the system to be a little bit smaller. So we're using that and asking for a 2-foot reduction in the offset from groundwater. So those are the 2 variances, to the depth of groundwater and the reduction in the 4-foot requirement of pervious materials.
Okay, are there any questions or comments from the board members?
Ted, what is that impervious material? Is it clay? Is it ledge?
Ledge, yeah. Like I said, up behind there was ledge, and there was ledge down in that too. It wasn't hard ledge. I think a lot of it was rip ledge. We call it like a rip rock. It just comes out. It's in pieces. It's either shattered or whatever it is, but it was coming out, but it's certainly not pervious material.
There's really only 2 feet there?
No, there's less than 4, more than 2. So we can't really say how much, but there was, I'm confident based on the test holes, there was 2 to 3. Some places there were 4. It's just that you got to get the variance because somewhere it's less than 4.
Yeah. You think you'll be able to get any of that out of there and put it back with something that is permeable or pervious?
You could, but underneath there is going to be more rock, right? You know, I don't know a lot about geology, but usually once you hit rock, even if you can get some of it out of there, you're getting more. It's rock below it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still going to have the 2 feet of, you know, you're going to still have the Presby system plus the system sand below it,
2 feet of
and you're
it.
going to have another at least foot of Title V sand to bring it up to meet, you know, the groundwater the groundwater offset and the grading. So you're still going to have plenty of filter material.
Did conservation say anything about a poly barrier on the edge of this?
No, you know, that's another tool. That's another great advantage is the breakout elevation for the Presby system is very low. It's measured from the bottom of the system, where most types of systems are from the top. So that allows a breakout elevation to be lower, which allowed this, in this situation, to make the mound lower so that you could catch up to natural grade by maintaining the required 15-foot breakout without a poly barrier. So we meet breakout without the barrier. So that's why it's not showing yet.
Yeah, I wonder if it would help, it would make them feel better to put a poly barrier there.
Yeah, I don't know. We meet breakout. So that's what the barrier is meant for. I mean, that's what it's thrown in there for. To me, the barrier is useless because water doesn't flow sideways. You know, water goes down. So you know, the only time you're going to reach a barrier is when the system is in failure and you're just, you know, you're not getting breakout, but you know, by then the system's failed anyway. So it just extends the failure a little bit longer.
Jim, would you like to speak your comments for this property?
Sure. So again, tough sites, the wetlands, the ledge. Kevin, just a thought on taking the other soil out taking the rock out. It'd probably be best to leave the existing pervious soil that we parked there. It's a little bit slower than sand, and it would be good to have that surge actually go through that slower material. It's not much slower. I think we had a 7-minute perk instead of like 2-minute perk with sand, but I think that gives it a little bit more retention time in the soil before it hits the bedrock. So that would be my recommendation, just to take the top and subsoil off and put it on the normal or the regular sea soil that's underneath of that, and then build it up where it needs to be built up with the sand. As Ted mentioned, the Presby design manual changed right at the end of the year. I think it changed in December, effective like the first part of January. So I think the plans, the revised plans, I think are sitting at the town hall. So I need to try to grab those plans, take a look at them. But you know, given the site, given what you got to work with, again, the Presby makes sense, and I don't really have any issues. It's town water, so.
Yeah. What changed with the Presby?
They made the systems a little bigger. So they also sold the company to somebody else. I don't know if those two things had something to do with one another.
Like the pipes are bigger?
No, the amount of pipe you need. So you need more pipe on generally speaking, which makes I don't think the footprint gets bigger. It just needs more pipe.
So they're selling more pipe.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Well, but the pipe manufacturer bought them.
There you go.
Mike, did I see your hand up? Did you have a question?
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the design as proposed, pending Jim's green light on the new set of plans that Ted's bringing to the office or has at the office.
Is there a second?
This is Mike. I'll second.
Okay, so let's do a roll call vote. Kevin?
Kevin Baker, yes.
Lisa?
Lisa Flanagan, yes.
Mike?
Michael Zeldin, yes.
Louise Nichols, yes. All right, thanks for coming in.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. And Jim, just email me if you need new hard copies, and then if you could just keep me posted when the permit's ready. Just they've got bids and they're ready to go. So
I think the plans just maybe in the town hall, so it's a matter of just getting them out of the town hall.
yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Janet, did you see them? I dropped them off and I put them in that box downstairs.
Yes, I have them.
Okay.
We're all set.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted, for coming in.
Good night.
Okay, next we have Wellington Drive.
Steve?
Hey, Ian.
Hi.
There you go.
Good evening, Steve Marsh from Wellington Drive with my professional engineer, Ian Rubin. Answer any technical questions. We're hopefully going to get our permit tonight. We have a plan that had been submitted a while back. It's been reviewed by Mr. Greffy, as well as the necessary paperwork that was required for a shared septic system. This is a 5-lot subdivision off of Goldsmith Street. If you're familiar with the yellow farmhouse that's there, this is just to the right of it. So we're basically here just to get a permit tonight. If there are any questions from the board that Ian can answer.
Should we put the plan up, maybe?
Good idea.
Yes, please.
By the way, my name's Ian Rubin from Markey and Rubin. We did the design, so
Okay.
let me see if I can get the plan up here. Any luck or no?
No, it's up.
Yes.
Okay, somehow I don't have it in front of me, but I have it on probably because I got it on another screen. That's why. Okay, so you can see the 5 houses. The 5 houses have a septic line that go to sewer manhole to septic tank and pump chamber. And we have, these are the trenches. I can actually also bring up the profile. As the profile, I assume you can see what I've brought up.
Yes.
And all the calculations. And these are 4-bedroom houses, so it's 20 bedrooms total, or 2,200 gallons per day at a 25 millimeter per 25 minutes per inch, and a B soil class, and the calculations are all shown here. These are 22 trenches total. 11 on either side of the manifold, and they're 38 feet in length. The volume that's dosed per dose is 808 gallons with 385 gallons backflow after it has dosed the system. And that would mean 2.7 doses a day on average at full design value. The system is on a slope. To allow for the slope, we are proposing to put in, these are ball valves. If you look at the section of the system, which is right here, the ball valves on both sides. So the top ball valve will be wide open, and they have to be tested prior to installation to make sure that they all have the same head, and the ball valves have to be adjusted. And there's other details here that we can discuss if you're interested in what they all are. But I think I'll leave it up for questions at this point. Maybe I'll put the site plan back up. What I should mention is that we have an order of conditions for this. The limit of work boundary, which is shown right here, this is the work boundary. That has not changed in the time since we've done the order of conditions. Some of the grading has changed a little bit, and that's about it. So,
You still have that retaining wall?
yeah, there's a small retaining wall here, and that only really comes in because that would mean having to go back to conservation. We didn't want to do that. This is 3 feet this side and 6 inches this side.
Did you do any testing on the individual lots?
Yes, we did.
How'd that go?
Good. And we didn't have any failed perk tests there. So originally, this was a 22-acre parcel. was part of the horse farm. Originally, we sold off the back piece to the Cooper farm, and we came in with an open space project, kind of consolidated most of the construction to a small area. And then if you slide that plan down just a little bit, Ian, I think it may show we've connected Cooper Farm.
Oh,
And
you'll see it. There's the locus plan I can show you.
yeah, so we connected Cooper Farm, so you can connect Cooper Farm and all of those units through our project to get right over to Goldsmith Street. So there'll be a sidewalk, or it's actually going to be a bike path that runs adjacent to the horse farm and over to Cooper Farm where the 55 and over is.
So you're using the in between the trenches as the reserve?
That's correct.
How large are the parcels?
They're about 20,000 square feet each. Again, it was a reduced, because we could have done more houses because we had more land there. But if you have over a certain number of acres in Littleton, you have to come in and show a condensed open space plan. So, and that's what we elected to go with.
This is Mike Selden. Of the component parts that make this thing work, which in your view as an engineer, a designer, shall we say, are the most problematic based on experience?
I don't quite understand the question. As we got. Can you just say that again?
What's going to fail first, basically?
No. What I'm asking is, of the components that you're using for this system, in your experience, or if you happen to know, what is the weakest part? Not necessarily the part that goes first. Nobody knows what that is, but what, from a fail-safe point of view, is, shall we say, more than likely to fail? Simply because of use, exposure to the elements, materials passing through it, method of construction, manufacturing. I mean, the list is legion. I just would like to know which part of this is, shall we say, would require attention, if any, over all the others because of, shall we say, the fact that it's more likely to fail than the others.
Ian, if I may answer that, typically anything mechanical would be the first thing to go. Most of that's all gravity fed to the septic tank and then to the pump chamber. So typically it would be a pump that would go if anything was going to fail.
Quick question. What variances are you looking for here?
I didn't know that we were asking.
No, we're not asking for any, I don't think.
All right. So you just need us to sign this?
Yeah, basically that's it.
All right.
I have a question. Go ahead, Lisa.
I have questions too. Well, so are you guys affiliated at all with the fields, with this project at all?
No, we are not affiliated with the fields in any way.
Okay.
Although we did sell them the land, the Cooper Farm, a portion of it.
Okay. And these are not affordable housings or senior housing at all?
No, they are not.
Okay. Is there any kind of homeowner
Yes, there is.
group? Because they have yeah. So I know that we've had some talks with the fields about what do we have them put money aside, guys?
Right, we're doing
have that maintenance have that maintenance project, have the maintenance very well defined work. So that we so, and then the other thing too is we also had town council involved. We had town council involved in the septic system, the shared septic system for Cooper Fields, big time. So I guess maybe we need to have Jim talk to Jim.
That was my question also, is what do you have to protect everyone
I can answer that.
from fails?
So we did send over everything through Jim to town council. Town council has reviewed all of this. So what we have is a septic system escrow agreement, which basically puts money in. So we're saying that the system itself would cost $149,000 or $150,000 essentially to replace the field some years from now. So every year, $14,900 has to go into an escrow account with the beneficiaries being not only Neshoba, but the town of Littleton Board of Health. So if it does fail, the money will be there set aside to do that. There is a declaration trust, which provides an easement and has a mechanism to make sure that the town can enforce, again, if this fails. And then there's the another copy of an easement. And town council did review this, and I have a letter from the attorney or an email from the attorney. And Jim was instrumental in that to get all of that done. The Cooper Farm basically did the trailblazing on this, and we utilized a lot of what they had gone through relative to the shared system. So we did deal with town council on this.
Jim Gareffi, can we hear your comments, please?
Sure. So as it's kind of been mentioned, this is a shared system, and shared systems need approval by the Board of Health. And part of that approval is making sure all the legal paperwork is in place. So in this case here, that means a homeowners association document, a financial assurance mechanism, which Steve alluded to, and then a Title V covenant and easement document, which needs to be signed and recorded. So it's signed by the board and recorded on the property. After which then the permit can be signed for the septic system. So the documents, all the legal documents were sent to town council for their review. The town council sent back some comments, nothing outrageous. Those comments were sent to the applicant's attorney March 21st, so they could revise those documents for us. Again, just to kind of correct something Steve said, the financial mechanism, that mechanism isn't so much for us as Neshoba, but you as Littleton to be able to have the money you need to repair the system if for some reason they couldn't. So we're not kind of involved in that in any way.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments from the board?
Question that I always ask, any abutters in the meeting at all? Are there any of us?
Okay. Does someone want to make a motion?
Just before that, Louise, if I could, Steve, I don't know. I did send the information to the attorney to update. I haven't seen the updated documents yet. So if you want to check with him and see if we can get those.
Okay, I have an email from him that says that he had requested the changes requested by town council have been accepted in their entirety. And so, but I'll have him send those over to you. We'd have to have those signed before you issue the permit anyway. Correct. So I'll get all of those signed. Okay. And then off to the board.
Okay.
So we've agreed to accept whatever changes he made.
Yeah, like I said, I think they were more style and format than anything else. So just want to make sure I get a copy of those before they go to the board so I can make sure they're all set.
Absolutely.
And I guess we've already, if there's no variances to be discussed, then we've already given Jim permission to sign that. So I don't know, do we need to make a motion for this?
You need to approve the shared system because there's going to be a document, that Title V easement and covenant that you'll need to sign once we all can get back together again. And so the applicant can actually record it on the deed for the property. That's the legal document that allows them to do that shared system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so does someone want to make a motion and then we'll do roll call?
I'll make a motion that we approve the covenant between the for the system.
I'll second.
Well, let's put the address in there, Wellington Drive project. Okay, so let's do a roll call then. Kevin?
Kevin Baker, yes.
Lisa?
Lisa Flanagan, yes.
Mike,
Michael Zeldin, yes.
and Louise Nichols, yes. Okay, so thank you.
Very much. This was a great experience.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Steve and Ian.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank
Very
you.
nice design.
Thank you.
Or you have submarine experience?
Do I have any experience?
In submarine design.
No.
Nuclear reactors, perhaps? I'm teasing. It's all right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good night, folks.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like it's 7:56, so we can keep moving on to the last project, which is 179 Harvard Road, and that's Kirk again.
Yeah, and I can put up here. Everybody see that?
Yes.
So basically, this is a proposed upgrade for the existing 3-bedroom dwelling. The proposed design's in full compliance with Title V. It's utilized as a presby with a full 4-foot groundwater offset. But the variance we're asking the board for is actually for the well offset from the property line in the front and to the side, where the Littleton Board of Health regulations require a 50-foot offset. We're proposing 27 feet.
Hold on,
Right
Kirk.
now,
Kirk,
yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could you please identify yourself?
Oh,
Just-
I'm sorry. Kirk Fitzpatrick with Civil Solutions.
Thank you.
So right now, the existing well is just off the edge of the house between the well and the garage. And it's not possible to push the system further back. This is a fairly steep slope. It continues down to the lot line, which is right here. And then this is a giant rock outcropping. There's some other rock outcroppings, and those continue further back on the property. So it's not possible to site the system further back and maintain even a reduced offset from the existing well, which triggers us to propose a new well in the front yard here. And if we had to maintain the 50-foot offset, we would put it back up in this general area here in front of the house, or on the other side of the driveway, past the existing garage. In this area over here, it's kind of it gets wooded, but anywhere near the garage looks like it's been disturbed before, and I think they buried a lot of boulders there. It's all up and down. So we're basically asking the board for a variance for the well offset from 50 feet to 27 feet from a property line and roadside line.
Kirk, any chance they can get town water?
There's no town water in Harvard Road here.
Any other questions or comments from a board member?
Is there any other option?
I think this is the best option. I really think it's the only option.
What would be the next best?
I don't think there is another option.
There you go.
I don't know where else you could. I don't see where else you could put the well.
Lifetime supply of bottled water? Okay. Has the water quality in this area been tested recently?
That I don't know. There's a new house here. This is the 100-foot offset from their well. Their well is also right in the front yard. It's probably right about where the cursor is now. And that's a new well that passed as a potable water supply, so I would not expect them to have an issue with the well here.
Right, the only thing we found in those new wells, that wraps around to the Chestnut Lane project. A lot of iron, a lot of manganese. If you drive through the development, which is just up the street a little bit, the concrete walkways and granite posts are all kind of stained with iron. That's been the biggest issue with the wells in that area.
And why did this one fail? Is it failing, or why are they digging another one?
So the existing system will not pass the Title V inspection, so it needs a replacement system. And where we have it sited is really the only viable option for the system. So we can't maintain even a 50-foot offset from the existing well, which would require a variance. So that's what triggers the proposed new well in the front yard. So this is the 100-foot well arc off that new well. The 100-foot well arc from the existing well puts you back onto the slope in the rear. Does that make sense?
Why are there two, maybe I'm not understanding it, but there are 200-foot well arcs on the drawings, one for you.
This is the 100-foot well arc from the neighboring well for the, on the adjacent property. And this is the proposed 100-foot well arc from the new well.
Okay.
And this is the existing well, which will be formally abandoned.
Okay. Jim, did you have any other comments?
Yeah, I think, as Kirk said, where the system's located, it's kind of driving everything else. If you try to push that system back, you're getting onto that slope. It slopes off pretty quickly back there, which makes it difficult to catch the fill. The soil's decent in that spot. So the nice thing, the new well will be a significant upgrade from the old because it'll be a new drilled well that can actually seal the casing properly. So it should supply a decent supply of water for the house.
Okay. Any other comments from board members?
I just have a question. When you drill the well, I take it that the quality of the water has to be, shall we say, affirmed to be potable?
That's correct.
Yes. So one of the conditions on the well permit, Mike, is that they'll need to do the water testing requirements, the water test parameters that the town requires, and we'll review those before we approve the well.
Okay. Does someone want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the well location as proposed.
Pending approval of the water quality.
Quality, right.
For 179 Harvard Road.
79 Harvard Road.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote. Kevin?
Kevin Baker, yes.
Lisa?
Lisa Flanagan, yes.
Mike?
Mike Zeldin, yes.
And Louise Nichols, yes. Okay, so
Great. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you.
thank you, Kirk, for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you. Stay safe.
Paul Schmidt, are you the owner of this property?
I'm the personal representative of the decedent owner.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you for any comments.
No, Kirk did better than I could do, so thank you.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. I think that's all the business that we have for the Board of Health tonight. So would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
This is
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I'll second. Nope,
Okay, so we have to do a roll call for that. I forgot to do a roll call for the adjourning last time. So Kevin, I go by alphabetical just so I don't forget anyone. So Kevin?
Kevin Baker, yes.
Lisa?
Lisa Flanagan, yes.
Mike?
Mike Zeldin, yes.
And Louise Nichols, yes. So I will see you all tomorrow at 2:00, right?
Yeah. Nice
Yes.
job, everyone.
Yeah.